Good evening, African Confessions. I am back with another episode. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and the message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? So, growing up as the only child in my family, my mom spoiled me so much to the extent that she will not allow someone to mess my life around. She pampered me with love, and I was always happy. My father passed away when I was around 12 years and life became harder than before. I was born, yes, in a poor family. And after my father's death, my mom did as much as she could for me to finish with my education. Though I didn't make it after school, I started doing a small business. I was just selling pure water in town. That is when I met this guy. He was just a regular taxi driver. He then proposed love to me, and it took me around 6 months so that I can accept his proposal. After that, I gave him a chance. Me and that guy, we dated for about 2 years, and my mom was aware of this relationship. And yes, my mom, she was in full support of my relationship. One day, my mom called me and she said that I must put an end to my relationship with that taxi driver guy. She said that I should not get married to someone who was poor like my late father. She gave me a lot of examples. Brother Nashi, it came to me as a surprise because all of a sudden my mom was now hating my boyfriend whom she had loved so much. So she said she had found a good rich husband for me. As hard as I tried to explain my feelings, my mom was so angry, and it was my first time for my mom to raise her voice against me. So to end the whole episode and the drama and to make peace in the house, I then accepted to my mom's plan, but I was planning that when I will meet my guy, I will sleep with him and I will fall pregnant for him. That was the only way to finish it. If my mom will find out that I was pregnant, when she was going to ask me who was responsible for the pregnancy, I was going to tell her that the taxi driver had given me this pregnancy and there was nothing she could do about it than to let me go and stay with that taxi driver that she had suddenly started hating like that. Brother Nashi, as I was planning to fall pregnant for this taxi driver, I didn't know that my mom was way ahead of me. She had planned out everything. The next day, I came from my small business and I saw that at our house there was a big car. It was a fantasy car that was parked at our house. I wondered and I asked myself who had come to visit us with this fine car. I entered into the compound and I entered into the house and I saw that my mom was sitting with this guy, but he was an older man who was old enough to be my father. That is when I sat down and I greeted them according to our own customs. That is when my mom suddenly introduced me to him, saying that this is your wife, and I was shocked. I asked my mom if I could talk with her separately. Then I went with my mom and I asked her, I said, Mom, what is the meaning of these things? She said, yes, he is going to be your husband. He loves you. You are the only thing that I have. You have to get married to this man. You have to leave that poverty-stricken boyfriend of yours. I said to my mom, Mom, why have you chosen to do this? And she said that I have chosen for you because I want the best for you. I don't want you to live the life that I lived with your father. She said, I want the best for you. This man will take care of you very well. I didn't know that my bags were already packed and I was going to be living with that old man that very day. I didn't want to live with this old man. At that time, I was only 20 years old when I got married with my older husband. He was around 58 years old and I was just a young girl, 20 years getting married to a 50-year-old. and I was his first wife. He had never been married before. He didn't have any children. I wondered why he had never been married before and he didn't have any children of his own. When we finally reached his house, I was shocked with what I saw. It was a beautiful big house, well decorated. We slept and strange things happened at night. Funny movements were always there underneath our bed, and my husband said that there were rats, but in the daytime you will never see those rats moving around the house. It only happened at night. To be honest, my husband, yes, he was a nice man. He was taking good care of me. He also bought a good house for my mom, but after 5 years in marriage, I then asked my husband that I needed a child of my own because the house was way too big for myself. Because the house was way too big and I was lonely most of the times. My husband, when I told him that I needed a child, he said he didn't want to have any kids and he hated kids. I told my mom everything that my husband had told me. I thought that my mom was going to support me because it is not normal for a man as old as he was to say that he didn't want to have kids yet and he hated kids. But to my surprise, when I told my mom that her son-in-law, as old as he was not yet ready to be a father. In fact, he hated the noise that kids make. My mother actually supported her son-in-law. She said, accept whatever he is telling you, my dear daughter. Besides, all you have to know is that very soon this husband of yours, he is going to be heading to the grave. He is way old now. You have just to be patient, and when he has died, you will marry a young man who is going to give you even 20 or 10 kids. Please just be patient, oh my daughter. What else will you need from this old man? He is going to leave all of this wealth in your hands. Well, I agreed because it was true. My husband was way old. When my mother told me that, daughter, just be patient because this husband of yours, he is already headed to the graveyard, I then accepted and I tried to be patient. I told myself that as soon as this old man has died, I am going to get married to the man of my dreams, that one that I had been forced by my mother to leave behind, and I was going to give him all of the wealth that will be left behind by this old man. One day, I wanted to look for my missing shoe underneath our bed in the bedroom. Yes, I used to move the bed doing my cleaning, but I didn't see what I saw on that day. When I was looking for my shoe, suddenly I saw that there were 3 corpses of kids which were aged around 3 to 4 years. These corpses, when I saw them, they just disappeared suddenly. I was scared. I ran out of the house. That is when I called my mom and she said, stop the drama that you are doing. Why do you hate your loving husband? I ran away before my husband could come back, and I was now staying at my friend's place. I want my mother to leave her house that my old husband had bought for her. I told her that, Mom, can you please come to my friend's place? But she refused, Brother Nashi. After 3 days, that is when she started calling me. Whenever she tries to sleep, she just see 3 heads that don't have a body. These 3 heads that she dreams about, they will just come to her, and those 3 headless bodies, they will be sucking from her breast. This is happening to her day and night. I went there with my friend. Yes, it is true, because my mom, she will be complaining and crying, because my mom, whether it will be in the daytime or in the evening, she'll be crying out loud saying that there are people that are sucking my breast, and she is saying that her breasts are always painful. I then called my former husband and she said that you have reaped what you have sown. Don't call my line again. You think I am full, you chop my money and you want to go that easy. Brother Nashi, we have searched everywhere for help, but to no avail. Strange things do happen in this world. Please let us talk about this issue in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.